Hey guys, welcome back to another Daily Juice. We'll let you in on a little secret. We just filmed about 20 seconds of an intro and the memory card was then full.
Vlogger problems.
Literally like so close into the video, it's like, yeah, that's enough.
Anyway, welcome to a new video. Today we have an interesting concept, yes. I suppose.
You join us on the sofa today, nice laid back video, chilled video, grab yourself a drink, grab yourself something to eat, hit that subscribe button while you're at it, and let's get into
We have myself, if you're new to the channel, I'm George, this is Lucy.
Why are we introducing ourselves?
Because we never say our names.
Do that.
I realise we've had so many new subscribers lately, we never say our names. And this is my left knee, which seems to be predominantly
Beautiful.
In the frame. But
so recently we filmed a video a couple of weeks ago now that was 13 or 14 reasons, no, things that Filipinos do that British people don't understand. So things, having lived in Manila for over a year now and been in the Philippines for 2 years on and off, we have picked up on some things that we've noticed that Filipinos do. So we wanted to do a video, another similar style, but a new kind of twist to it, a new concept.
Yeah, and you guys seem to really enjoy that video.
Yes.
So we wanted to sit down and do something kind of similar, but you'll see, a different kind of angle.
So that was more about things that we've noticed that Filipinos do.
Which is different to the UK.
This time it's things that we have actually started doing, habits, things we've picked up on, and traits that we've actually adopted in our personal lives and are now part of us, which is crazy, since living here. So things that are now normal to us, things that we now do that we didn't before living in the Philippines.
It was really weird for us because before we started thinking about this video and thinking of, oh, what could we talk about in this? We didn't realize, and then you start to like write a little list out or write some notes, and it's funny. There's things, we're different people now that we've lived in the Philippines and we've spent so much time in this country.
Obviously the Philippines is, Asia in general is totally different from anywhere in Europe, and there's things here that we thought it'd be fun today just to go through and tell you guys, because I don't know, like if there's any British people watching, it might be quite unusual for you guys, and when we go back to the UK to see family, there's some things that even our families have noticed that we've started doing. There's some phrases. I remember when we first went back, my dad was like, wait, say that again. And I said a certain phrase, I can't remember what it was, but he was like, you didn't used to say that. Like even your vocabulary's changed.
And that, I think that would happen if you take yourself out of your homeland and you put yourself in another country and you spend time there, you interact with the people, you interact with the culture, the way of life, the day-to-day living of another country.
It's like how people pick up accents in different places.
I think you're gonna pick things up. So we're gonna dive in.
We've got 10 things we've thought of today, and we're just gonna go through them and share with you what we think that we've picked up on since living here. Okay, the first one is quite generic. It's quite general, I suppose. So I've written here, adaptability and resilience. So having spent a lot of time in Asia, we've said this a few times, we've experienced a lot of natural disasters, like to do with the weather, like typhoons, earthquakes, volcano eruptions, ashfall.
Things we would never deal with or come across in the UK.
You don't really get this kind of experiences living where we used to live.
And when a few of these things started happening, I remember the first earthquake in Manila that we witnessed. So the first time we felt an earthquake, for example, we found it really strange because we had never felt that sensation in our lives before.
If anyone's never felt it, it's kind of hard to explain, but it's just out of this world. Like it's like you go somewhere else for a bit. It's almost
like it feels like it's just you at first. It feels like you go a bit dizzy.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you feel like you lose your balance or something, and then you notice things are shaking around you.
Yeah.
But on top of that, when the Taal volcano erupted, and a few other things, typhoons, rainy season, everything like that, we've noticed living here that the people just get on with it because they're used to it. They've grown up with these things happening around them.
Yeah, exactly. And when we are, again, messaging our family, saying about these earthquakes, and they're like, oh, what's happened? Tell us everything, I hope you're okay. We're not like, I don't know, if there's another earthquake, it's like, oh, there's been an earthquake again. It's not as shocking as it would have been if you told us that a few years ago. If you'd said you're going to live somewhere where there's this and that and that,
we'd probably be too freaked out and scared, to be honest. But we've kind of adopted the way that everyone else thinks about it. Is that it is what it is. There can be unfortunate and sad side effects to a lot of these things sometimes, but it's expected in life out here in the Philippines, and we've now come to expect that as well.
Exactly. There's something quite funny here. I mean, I'm wearing the perfect outfit for it now. Wearing jeans in like 35-degree heat and like jumpers and things.
And adjusting to the heat in general, really.
Yeah.
England gets to around 25, maybe 28, 30 if you're lucky on a hot summer's day. But generally speaking, in the winter, England can be anything from 0 to 15
Oh, like
degrees
-5.
Celsius.
-5,
it can be, but
yeah.
around that, it's cold. It's a cold country.
Yeah.
Um,
I never thought that, I mean, when we first went to Asia ever, and we went to Thailand, George and I were wearing like the smallest clothing possible. Do you remember? Like tiny little vests and
Yeah.
shorts, because we were so hot and we were sweating constantly.
but now we've lived here.
Now it's like, fine, like I'd wear jeans outside. I mean, you get
we
hotter
occasionally
days.
wear jackets, and you do get sweaty. Of course, we still sweat and we do get hot, but
Yeah.
we just kind of get used to it, and we
just
don't
normal.
mind wearing longer trousers. It's something small, but it's
weird.
funny.
Like I walked out the balcony yesterday, I didn't tell you this, I remember thinking to myself, you're gonna like hit with this wall of heat when you walk outside, but it doesn't shock me. You used to
Yeah.
get that when you step off a plane on holiday somewhere sunny, like
Yeah,
Spain
yeah,
or
yeah.
something, but here it's like you go off the balcony and it's like, oh yeah, it's really
I remember
hot.
one of my friends, when we'd been living here a little while, he said, I saw one of your videos, how are you not wearing shorts every day?
Yeah,
Why aren't you wearing
true.
shorts? Is it not too hot?
It's very hot, but we're used to it and we enjoy the heat.
Number 3 is something I really like, drinking coffee late at night and having an evening coffee shop culture.
Yes.
And getting used to that and involving
cool.
ourselves with that. Which, especially when we're traveling around the Philippines, if we're on road trips and things, coffee shops, a Starbucks will be our like go-to. In England, coffee shops close around maybe 4 or 5 p.m.
Yeah.
And people generally only drink coffee in the mornings in England. But
Maybe early afternoon.
yeah, we've noticed here in the Philippines, as we've traveled around different cities, towns, provinces, if you go to a mall or if you go to an area where there's coffee shops, there's a whole social scene.
It's like so many coffee shops.
Yeah, there's a whole social scene, nearly couldn't say that either, in coffee shops in the evening. It's really, really nice. I guess in the UK you have bars and pubs and clubs and things
Yeah.
like that. English pubs are a real evening thing, but
True.
here we've noticed
Coffee
that
shops.
coffee shops is an evening social thing. Friends gather there, friends meet there, and people are drinking coffee at 9 or 10 p.m,
Yeah.
which is cool. I don't know how these people sleep at night, but it's cool.
We went out on a night out once here and we had a Toby's espresso with Mike and Nelly,
Oh my God.
Lois and James and
Wasn't that
Chris
like,
and Christina at midnight.
I was gonna say, wasn't it at midnight? And they were just closing.
They'd nearly turned the machine off and we were like, please, can you make us a
Please.
coffee?
Why
That
do you
was
want coffee
weird.
at midnight?
It was like as part of a bar crawl. I guess it gave us more energy.
Yeah.
So the next one is something I love and something that I feel like I'm gonna do forever now. And that's like family style ordering in restaurants.
Ooh,
So
family dining.
family dining, like when you order things, I mean here you get options for family size meals where it's for like 2 or 3 people, which I guess you can probably get large portions back in the UK.
Yeah, but not like
it's
that.
not as common.
If
like
you
not
order
as,
like a sharing garlic rice or something.
yeah, exactly.
Huge.
Or like a big bowl of soup sinigang or something like that.
Yeah.
So here, I mean, back in the UK, if you go for dinner, generally you'd order a meal for yourself and then you'd order a meal for
Oh
yourself.
yeah, you just order your own thing.
Sometimes we might say, oh, let's order the pasta and the pizza and share because
But we do that as a couple.
Yeah,
You would
exactly.
not do that with your family, really. You might, or your
Yeah,
friends. I definitely
less
wouldn't do
so.
that with friends. I've never been out for a meal and I've said to my mate sitting over there, do you want to share food?
No.
Always order your own thing. At work, at business dues, in
Yeah,
our old jobs, at
exactly.
company work, meals, things
And
like that.
even when you do it, it's normally just you have 2 meals still and you just split it in half, that kind of thing. But here we order like loads of different dishes, like smaller dishes, bigger dishes, and your plate is just filled with all these different flavors. You've got the rice as the base, you've got the soup, you've got some pieces of meat, some vegetables. You get like this lovely, it's like a buffet style, I guess.
Yeah,
isn't it?
everyone on the table has everything. If
Yeah.
you go out for a meal with
It's
a huge
so
group
nice.
of people, you can do family style dining,
Yeah.
which we love. I mean, at the
Absolutely love it.
moment,
Maybe
it's
not.
a little bit, you can't really do it.
But between us, we went for breakfast yesterday and we ordered like 3 or 4 different dishes and we just shared it
I
all.
personally love it because I'm the type of person on a menu I can't decide.
I want it all, yeah.
And it means you can try loads of
Indecisive.
different food and share food and talk about food with your friends.
Exactly. So number 5 is something interesting to us because...
Something we had to get used to,
Yeah.
but strangely got used to very quickly.
True.
So this one's about us getting used to the security presence in
Yeah.
the Philippines in general.
Yes.
So every shop has a guard and he'll have a gun. And every building, our condo here has security guards.
Some have guns.
Yeah. If you go to a restaurant, there's a guard. If you go to the beach, there's guards.
Yes.
And in the UK, there's really not that at all.
There might be a security guard that covers a whole mall or a couple
Yeah.
that cover an entire mall, but they're not at every entrance. They're not outside every shop.
No.
It's
in
not-
the UK, you can walk into shopping malls without any security.
Yeah, you don't get like the detectors
Scanners
that you
and
walk
things.
through at all. That's more just at an airport that you'd get that.
I remember the first time we really noticed this was when we went to a trip to Boracay, and it was our first time on the beach. We were really amazed. Obviously people swimming, walking around, watching the sunset, whatever. And then we see this guy, this huge guy, with the biggest machine gun you've ever seen.
Oh yeah, like huge.
And
across
to
his
be
whole
honest,
body.
we were kind of like, whoa, is something going on? Has he been called?
Well, that's the thing. In the UK, if you see someone with a gun or like, you'd be like, oh, something must be happening because there's someone there.
Yeah, something's
with a
been
gun.
reported, something's going on right now. But then we soon realised that no, it's quite normal.
It's just a security thing.
It's just a security thing.
Yeah.
They're there to make you feel safe.
Exactly.
And if any trouble kicks off, they can deal with it.
So it's something that we're fully used to now. But if you plonked old us into the Philippines, seeing that everywhere, we'd be like, what's going on? Like, it'd feel a bit unusual, but we're definitely used to it.
Definitely something we've adopted, not being fazed by it, seeing security. And we say good morning to loads of security guards, even just like down the high street.
Yeah.
We say hi.
Always so friendly.
And they always nod or whatever. So yeah, we're very, very used to that now. Number 7 is probably my favorite thing that we've picked up from living in the Philippines, one of my favorite things from living in the Philippines, and that is the shopping mall culture. Going to the mall in general, going to the mall on weekends.
Going to the mall constantly.
We go a lot. You might, if you watch our vlogs, you know that we go to the mall a lot. But we love it. They're a place where you can escape from the heat. Yeah. They've got a ton of shops, a ton of restaurants. The cinemas are great.
And it's just nice to, if we go on a nice long walk, there's malls everywhere. So like even in our area alone, there's like 4 or 5 malls within 5 or 6 malls in walking distance. And you go on a nice long walk, you get a bit hot, you fancy a drink, you need the toilet, whatever it is. You can just go in a mall and just walk around. Before we'd go to the mall, we had one mall about a 30-minute drive from our house.
Well, I was going to say, if you're watching this thinking, okay, big deal, you're going to a shopping mall.
Yeah, let's elaborate.
Let's give you some context. In the UK, there are shopping malls. There's some huge, cool shopping malls in London, especially.
Where we lived was a 30-minute drive to the closest big mall.
And there was only one.
But it wasn't as big as
it's not big now. If we go back now, we're like, whoa, this is small.
And
it felt big when we were kids.
We might go there every 3 or 4 months.
And that's why we've been so impressed by Filipino shopping malls, because it's like, whoa, we're not used to this back home.
No, not at all.
Because we're not from London, we don't actually live in London or anything, so we didn't have these big, extravagant malls growing up.
Yeah, exactly.
There's not even a mall in our hometown in the UK.
No.
There's a
high street.
There's a high street and there's a small shopping centre.
But all the clothes in it, the shops in it are all closed down.
Yeah, most of them are closed. So that was very cool for us. We love Filipino malls. And it's like a go-to thing. If you want to meet a friend for a coffee, you can like, we'll meet at this mall.
Meet at the mall.
If you need something to do in the day, if you're bored at the weekend, you can go there and you can
There's
shop.
always like little stalls set up selling things, like not just the shops, like in the middle of it. There's often events there. There's like during festival times, they do things like in the Cebu malls during Sinulog and Dinner Gang and Iloilo. There's always stuff going on.
Yeah, I realised during quarantine when we had when we could go out but the malls weren't open, I was like, so what do we do? I really miss the shopping malls.
Yeah, it's such a big part of our life now.
Handy for the toilet as well if you need to go when you're out.
Definitely. So this one, I guess I'm going to say it because you've never used one in your life. Using a rice cooker.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something else.
What do you think?
Don't worry.
What on earth do you think I was
don't
going to
know.
say?
Don't worry. Carry on.
Are you being serious? What were you going to say?
Serious. I'll tell you after, off camera.
Whisper in my ear and you can get my reaction. Anyway, it's a rice cooker. So in the UK, if you guys have seen the Uncle Roger videos.
Oh my, this was so funny.
We love Uncle Roger. We've reacted to loads of his videos on Juicy React, which is our reaction channel, link below if you're interested. We had such a good time reacting to this video. He basically is talking about someone in the UK, someone in Britain cooking rice the British way.
In a saucepan, not in a rice cooker.
Some people use rice cookers, they do, but this specific person, most people that I know, use a saucepan with the rice, they put rice in, then they strain the rice in a sieve to get rid of all the water.
It was so funny, that video.
Using a rice cooker has changed my life, and anywhere and in any kitchen I have in the future in my life now will have a rice cooker in, I know it, because it's so handy.
Yeah, because you've lived here.
It's just, why wouldn't you use it? You get to just make it and just leave it. You don't have to keep stirring it, you just leave it.
Turn it on. And our apartment came with the rice cooker.
Yeah, it did. And it's really old. Maybe we should get a new one.
It's from the 1970s.
Yes.
Number 8, getting used to driving on, I can't say the wrong side.
The wrong side.
In England, people say the wrong side of the road, but it's also a joke for Americans or other people to say that England is the wrong side of the road because it's way less common to drive on the left, which is what we do in the UK. But yeah, living in the Philippines, going on all these road trips, if you've seen the vlogs.
We've driven a lot here.
A lot, like we've done hours and hours and hours of driving, covered thousands of miles driving. And before coming here, I had only very, very limited experience of driving on the right-hand side of the road from some Europe trips that we'd done. Very limited.
Like one trip.
Pretty much that Prague trip.
Yeah,
and that was like just for a day or two driving. So yeah, living in the Philippines has taught us how to drive on the right.
Yeah.
Which I'm grateful for because it means we can then go to the US. We can do a road trip. any other country we go, I think there's more countries that drive on the right than the left. So anywhere we go now, we're good because we've had the experience in the Philippines of driving on the right-hand side of the road. So that's a good thing.
And that's now more normal than driving on the left. So then when we go back to the UK, and we're like...
No, Luce, do you not remember when we hired a car and I pulled off and I stayed on the right?
You like cut the corner and I was like, George, what are you doing?
We parked on the right or something and I had to go, what am I doing?
We're so used to it that now we're better driving here probably than...
It just feels right sitting on this side of the wheel with the steering wheel. Okay, number 9 kind of leads on because this is about patience, and I don't know if necessarily we've got this from Filipinos or if we've got this just from living in the Philippines and it's just personal to us, but we're a lot more patient now with things like traffic, things like waiting for deliveries, things like, I don't know, we seem to be a lot more patient. I don't know if that's because our lifestyle has changed as well. And
about maybe like how when you sit in traffic, or if you're driving and someone cuts in front of you here, they're probably not being horrible or being mean. They're just on their journey. They're not trying to annoy you.
And you just adjust to it and you react. We've spoken about driving in the Philippines in videos before, and it is chaos.
But you just accept it. You're not, if someone cuts you up in England, you're honking your horn and probably swearing at them.
Well, I mean, we don't.
There's a lot of aggressive
But there's a lot of road rage in the UK. People get angry. Even if you go like too near their car, or if you overtake them too close, people are beeping, people are getting angry, they're like putting their fingers up at you.
I've had people
gestures.
Like beeping me when I'm literally like, I didn't do anything, I don't know what I've done wrong here, and people are like beeping, and you look in your mirror and there's someone going like this.
Yeah, there's a lot of road rage in the UK. There probably is road rage here. Yeah. Don't get us wrong.
True.
But we feel like it's less, and we feel like for us,
we don't care.
We just let stuff go on around us, and we don't get angry. We don't get annoyed.
Chill.
Just go with the flow.
Exactly. People are on their way somewhere.
We know that Manila especially is known for traffic. Yeah. So we have to accept that. We can't get annoyed at traffic. But in the UK, if there was a long traffic jam in the morning when we used to drive to work,
we'd have somewhere to be at a certain time, so we might be worried.
Yeah, that would kind of frustrate us because it was traffic on roads where there wasn't usually traffic in the day.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know, we've kind of got a little bit more relaxed, which is a good thing, I guess.
It's here all day, every day. So.
We get comments actually that people say when they've seen our old videos, since living in the Philippines, we look healthier, we look more happy, we look more relaxed. And I think if we compare our lives and our lifestyles, the food we eat, the climate,
the walking,
what we do every day, the walking,
exercise.
I think we have a great life here. And I think we probably are in a better place physically and mentally than we were beforehand.
Yeah, I agree. And I think also being surrounded by happy people all the time.
That helps. That really helps. People are very, very friendly here. We don't have to say that. We've said that in so many videos so many times, but it is true. And we're not dissing England here. Like, when we make these videos, some people think, you shouldn't say that about your home country. We love England, we do. There's things we love about England, but there's also things that once we've been here, we notice so many differences.
This is purely a comparison.
And it's not that British people are actually known to be friendly and polite, right?
Yes.
But there are a lot of kind of miserable people. There's people who keep their heads down. And here we notice an extra level of friendliness.
Yeah.
Whether that's because people think we're visitors to the country and they kind of want to welcome us, probably an element of that. But also, generally speaking, most people we meet are very friendly and open.
And the final one, number 10, is something that took some getting used to.
But now I would say we're fully adopted.
Filipino time.
Yeah.
And I think we mentioned this in the other video in more of a broader sense of it's there and it happens. But personally for us, the slower pace of life, the less worry about things being on time.
And being set to a set structure.
If now like we're arranging to meet someone and we're running,
Nelly, for example.
Yeah, and we're running like 10 minutes late, I'm not as worried about it for like an hour. I don't know.
Those guys are 2 or 3 hours after we say usually.
Don't say that.
No, but we are, anyway. but we're all kind of cool with it. So using that as an example,
it's just relaxed.
If we say to Mike and Ellie, oh, let's meet, when you want to meet? 12? Okay, cool. If it's 2, if it ends up being 2, none of us care.
No.
We were just doing something else. We can keep in touch. Oh, let's do a little bit late. It doesn't matter.
And it's like if you've got a delivery arranged between a certain slot and then it comes an hour after the last part of the slot, okay, cool.
You have to get used to that.
Like it's chilled.
You have to deal with it if you decide to spend so much time here like we do.
And if you've like booked some work to be done, like a service or something, they're probably going to be late. But again, like they don't turn up and say sorry for being late. It's just like hi.
It's like hi, we're here. And it can work backwards as well. Yeah. Someone was 3 hours earlier than a scheduled appointment the other day.
This is true.
Because it probably suited them better, which is cool. I know people in the UK, some friends of ours, who would struggle with that. There's people I know who like to keep a set diary. Every hour is scheduled, every minute is scheduled. People
Because
get
of
annoyed.
their life though, think about it.
True.
We have a life where timing doesn't matter as much.
True.
But I think if we had our old jobs and things were late and it's a certain slot of the day, it probably would be more of a struggle.
Yeah, true.
Okay,
so
that's the end.
that is 10 things that we have adopted as British people living in the Philippines. If you like this kind of video, if you've got any other ideas.
Sorry, imagine if it was like animals.
What?
And we've like, when people read the title, they're like, 10 things you've adopted. And we're like, here's a dog, here's a giraffe, here's a frog.
If you enjoyed this type of video, then please give us a thumbs up. If you enjoyed this type of video, guys, please give it a big thumbs up. Leave a comment if you've got any other similar ideas, anything else you want us to like talk about. We've noticed some of these videos online where it is people talking about certain things about their lives. That is pretty much all of YouTube.
What are you talking about?
I'm pretty much just...
What's happened to your voice?
I've pretty much just described vlogging. I don't know, I really need some water.
You're like talking like this.
We better leave this. We've been filming for nearly
2
25
hours.
minutes.
Anyway,
all right,
thank you so much for watching today, and we'll see you in the next Daily Juice. Bye, guys.
Goodbye. What was that? Goodbye.
Or
You need pimping in the face then.